We love the game, but we love the stories. Fans have stories. Former players have stories. Journalists have stories as well. Commbox brings them all together. The game lives on.
Hello and welcome to Commbox. We are sitting here in Johannesburg. I've been traveling so much, but welcome CS to um, our little platform. CS, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? As in, a lot of us know you, but for the sake of our viewers.
Yes, my name is CS Chiwanza, part of the entire Commbox community. We've been trying to work in the background. I'm a cricket writer based in South Africa. Have a little podcast that refused to get any traction, but thank you guys who read. You're reading a lot of the articles.
Good stuff. Yeah, good. So CS is someone who's been following South African cricket through and through. He follows literally school cricket, even watches the talent that grows here through the ranks. So today we're actually going to be talking about all things South Africa, which is why you see me in everything South African, like my SA20 gear, the cap, and I have a drink somewhere here. But yeah, we're going to talk about all the upcoming talent that exists in South Africa and some of the most exciting upcoming talent, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, because there's quite a few names that we can go through, players that we think have the potential to do something.
Yeah, I think so. I think this year in the SA20, the talent that I've seen has been just mind-boggling. Last year, if we thought Luandre Pretorius was standout, I am mightily impressed by the likes of Mokoena, the likes of Jordan Hermann. Hermann. I'm trying to get the pronunciations right. Jordan Hermann. He has been super impressive. I've really enjoyed, Dewald has been a revelation. He's living up to his potential now, which has been truly gratifying to witness, and you hope that he continues to grow from strength to strength. Who else am I missing? There's obviously Mapaka.
Kwena.
Kwena Mapaka is a talent that I think is really exciting.
Yes, Kwena is quite good.
Anybody else that you think that is coming up through the ranks that we need to keep an eye out, the world needs to keep an eye out for?
I think the biggest problem when we were discussing this off air, I thought of Bryce Parsons. You watched him yesterday.
Yeah, Bryce is actually good.
Yeah, and I've always had him on my radar as someone who could do stuff, but then it's that inconsistency. But I like him so much, but the inconsistencies. But then there are also guys who are not in the SA20.
Esther Hazen's really good.
Corner Esther Hazen, I like him.
He's really good.
Solid,
Yeah, he's solid, man. I think he favors the offside a lot, but I think if he opens up that leg side game, I think he'll be very dangerous as a batter. We're going to be discussing a lot of this talent. So who do you want to start off with?
Let's start with everyone's favorite, Dewald.
Dewald. Let's go.
Yeah. So what's impressed you, before I get into whatever it is that I know about him, what's impressed you about him so far?
I think his sheer ability. And you can tell that the kid's a very hardworking kid.
Yeah.
You can tell that he's someone who really wants it. He really wants to, you can tell that cricket's his passion. You can tell that he wants to succeed and he wants his team to succeed, whichever team he's played for. I remember first seeing him in the IPL for Mumbai Indians, and then I saw him going I saw the potential, and you hope that he would come good. I think I first saw him in the Under-19 World Cup. A few years ago, I think 3-4 years ago, and he thought he was very impressive. And then him and I don't know, Mapaka made it that same year
Mapaka
to the IPL.
was with him there also. Yeah.
Yes, so both of them, obviously, Mapaka was intimidating youngsters in the Under-19 level because of how quick he was. But Dewald, I thought, had super potential, but potential that needed to be converted, and talent that needed to be converted into true potential, right? And always excited. I thought he didn't get the opportunities that he should have gotten at Mumbai Indians while he was there. But after that, I think when he spent a season or two on the sidelines and he even played the SA20 here, I think he started coming into his own a lot. And I've really enjoyed his progress over the last 24 months.
It's been one thing with me and Dewald. I love him so much because I've covered him from school, from office. And when he made professional, the problem I had with him, if if we take Luandre for a moment, you check his conversion rate. Luandre almost has like 5 half centuries and 5 centuries. He has a high conversion rate. Dewald's conversion rate, especially at domestic level, is sort of skewed. There's a lot of half centuries and less centuries. And I felt, as someone who's watched him, that he didn't have that mindset to stay until the last ball. He didn't see the team home. You know, it was a gripe that I had with him personally. But then, as someone who supports him, I would always say, I cannot say this out loud.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But then, I don't know if you watched the match at Wanderers.
Both. I watched the Wanderers game, then I watched the Durban game, yes, and I was at the ground yesterday.
Yes. The Wanderers game, he showed that maturity that he had to stay in until the last delivery. He didn't stay in until the last one, but you could see the intent. Yes. And that's what I've wanted from him for a very long time. And it's good that he's bringing it now to the game.
So, I was telling AB yesterday, we were talking about his innings even yesterday in Durban. And like sometimes talent like that is seeking his method to his madness, right? And I felt like the game in Wanderers was his discovery of, hey, this is what I can do, of his method. And then you saw him exercise the same thing last night as well at Durban. So I think he's kind of got the sense of that. Now it's about him building the consistency of keeping that going for a long time. And when he does keep that going, he's going to meet a lot of success. But after a point, doing that method is going to get boring for him. Right? Especially for a young guy like him, it's going to get boring. He's going to want to try. He's going to try and be innovative with the way he with his method that brings him success. But he has to find joy in doing the boring things once this process gets boring for him. And then when he stays with it being boring and enjoys that process of it being boring and simple for him to do, then that's when he attains depth in the growth that he makes. And he stops growing horizontally, starts growing vertically, and which is what you want for a player of his caliber. Because he does that, then he goes into AB level, Virat Kohli level kind of, that stratosphere. Then he's breathing rarefied air. So you want talent like that because of his ability. You want him to have that. You want that talent to live out their potentials.
And what you said is what I really want for him, because you mentioned it earlier that he has this passion. I'm not sure if you heard the story, but I had to talk to him. I had to talk to his coach from school and everyone, that after being on the sidelines at Mumbai and then having a middling SA20, he called up his coach, Dewald Brevis, who coached him at school. And then, so he sacrificed his December holidays to go to Cape Town, where Dewald Brevis is now. He left office and now he's with Palkim. So he had to go there over the Christmas holidays, and they spent days in the net, just hitting balls, talking about cricket. Him sort of, I felt, as you say, there's a sense of self-discovery also that happens when you have moments like that, especially with a coach who knows you so well.
Sure.
Who understands your game from the root.
Yeah.
And I felt that when you spoke about the hard work, the passion, that's the moment I went back to immediately to say, you know what, this kid did not wait for someone to say, you need to look at your game from a technical standpoint. You need to work on your game on this standpoint. He sat down and discovered that he had gone off the rails from his natural game, from his approach, from whatever technique that got him here. And then he had to go to the fundamentals, which I think is also very important. Go back to the fundamentals.
Yeah. I think oftentimes a lot of youngsters think it's about building the hitting ability or the six hitting ability. But to be very honest, if you have the ability to hit sixes, it's about practicing your fundamentals and making sure that your fundamentals are as strong as they can possibly be, right? I love the fact that he went and he pursued, his school coach, who he shares a great rapport with, and then worked with him through the holidays. But if you want to be a world beater, these are necessary sacrifices that one needs to make.
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation with Dewald during the SA20, and I told him, I don't think there's anything wrong with your batting. I just think you need to figure out your method to your madness. There is a way you can win matches single-handedly. Because we know, if the world knows you can win matches single-handedly.
yeah.
But there is a way you can win matches single-handedly that feels like this is yours, this is mine, I own it. Right? And I think you just have to discover that method and you need to repeat that method. And I'm so happy to see him doing what he's doing right now. And I hope that he continues to stay and grow with it.
Yeah, I hope so too, because as one of his biggest supporters, I want him to have a 15-year-old international career.
Yeah. I think he's got the looks like he's got the feels for it, and I think we'll see him do it as well. And I think there's leadership ability there as well. Too young right now.
Yeah.
I would allow him to kind of breathe
Grow a
and grow
bit,
as much as because I think he needs to figure out his game a little bit more. Especially, like you said, conversions and whatnot. But I think once he does that, then I think he'll be primed for leadership as well.
I think, is there a lesson we can learn from your road? You made a debut quite youngish.
Yeah.
And there was that learning process, because I think you are different from someone who would have made a debut at 25, 26. You were in the lower 20s. And so
I was 20 when I made my debut.
yeah, so there's growth and discovery and
Yeah, there's a period of unawareness, CS, when you make your debut at that young, it's also overwhelming when you kind of get the adulation and attention that one gets when you've got potential, right? And it's easy to get distracted if you don't have the right kind of guidance, you don't have the right kind of mentors in that time to kind of have a sounding board to kind of who can call you out, almost like call you out on your bullshit, right? But also kind of reiterate the great things that you're doing. Someone to be like who you can just blindly trust that this person's going to be authentic to me no matter what. Which is why I'm not surprised he went back to his school coach, because
Yes.
he probably felt that I need this person in my life. I need someone who I know that I can trust with all my heart and soul. And probably that's why he went back to him and found results post that.
Yeah, that's actually what he said. He had to go to someone who understands his game, who knows his game, and someone who's open to telling him, Dewald, you need to do this and do that and do that and just get back on course.
Yeah.
And if we stay away from Dewald, let's go back to another favorite of many, Kwena Mapaka.
Yeah.
You've watched him a few times now. What do you think of his growth so far?
If I have to be perfectly honest, I think, and I don't know him from Adam. I love his talent. I love his ability, but I feel like he's, I don't know if he's lost, so to speak, but I feel like he's gone off the boil a little bit. I think today he's riding the wave of perhaps the attention, and this is just pure instinct. I could be so off the mark here, right? And I say this with a lot of humility and with a lot of respect for everything he stands for and he does. I just feel like my inclination of just observing him feels like he's gone off the boil a little bit. He's missing the mark with his potential and with how he's approaching his cricket. Right? I feel like seeing him when I first saw him when he was 18 years old and seeing him today as a 21, 22-year-old.
No, he's 20.
20. I think I first saw him when he was 18. So I think in the last 2.5 years, what I've seen him, I feel like he's still at the same place. Maybe his pace has increased, but not much more besides that. I feel like he's still as erratic. I still feel he doesn't hit the right areas. I still think he's not disciplined enough as a fast bowler. I feel like with that kind of pace, he can really cause issues. And I think he's lost by not lost, but maybe he's distracted by the, I'd say, what's the right word here? Let me pick the right word. He's distracted by the frills of the game.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I say frills of the game, I mean the frills of the game on the field, not off the field. Right? I feel like he can quieten his mind a lot more, draw to focus the areas he wants to hit, his processes. What is his method of attack? What is his stock delivery? What are his strong deliveries? What are his weak deliveries? What are the things that he can use? Because every year a bowler needs to evolve.
Yes.
So 1 year, like When he came into the scene, the back of the hand was his variation. The year two, everyone is pummeling his back of the hand ball, and now he needs to come at year three and then come up with a different variation. You need to keep evolving. You need to stay one step ahead or 1 year, one step ahead of all the cricket analysts in the world for you to keep being fresh, right?
Yes, yes.
To be an unknown entity, so to speak. So you see a lot of players. There was one time where AB de Villiers would play the reverse sweep, and come the next season, he wouldn't play the reverse sweep at all. He wouldn't be playing the sweep and the ramp. And there was one season where he played only the ramp, and the next season he didn't pull the ramp out at all. So suddenly he left the bowlers confused. Right. So you need to do the same things to keep evolving. And I don't think I fear that he's not worked on these things, because even in this season, when I've seen him bowl, I've seen him take wickets, but I've seen him be so expensive and so inconsistent with the areas that he bowls.
Do you feel, because Quena is not one of the people I know personally, but just watching with the amount of cricket I watch, domestic cricket I watch, it's one thing to back away from a fight on the field, but then you need that aggression. But sometimes to me, it looks like Quena gets drawn too much into the battle.
Which is what I meant by the frills of the game on the field, right? You need to understand what is the right amount of intensity for you as an athlete that brings the best out of you as a cricketer, right? As an athlete, there is an intensity. Now, Virat Kohli has to play at a 9.5 intensity to bring the best out of himself, right? And AB de Villiers has to play at an 8 intensity for him to bring the best out of himself. Hashim Amla has to play at an intensity of 5 for him to bring the best out of himself. And MS Dhoni has to play at an intensity of 6 or 7. Like, every player knows what that intensity is that brings the best out of them. I don't think Quena knows that yet.
Understands that level yet.
And he needs to figure that out. He needs a mentor who can work with him to help him figure out his own game. The minute he figures out what works for him and his method and his systems that's going to bring him success, or gives him the best chance for him to be successful, I'm telling you, he's going to be a generational bowler for South Africa.
Because the first time I saw him, he was 16. It was at the nets. Okay, I didn't go to the nets, but someone sent me a video. They said, look at the skin. And it was a practice session. The Lions were practicing to go to a try series against Namibia and someone else. And you could see the schoolboy.
Yeah.
Like, if his coach told him, land the ball here, that's where he's going to try to land every delivery. And it gave people problems. But you also feel that probably with growing up and being in a professional setup, he still needs that hand holding. But then you're not really going to get that often when you're playing in franchise tournaments, because those guys try to help you navigate, but they are not going to coach you the basics.
Yeah, and that's what I meant, that he needs to figure out his method to his madness, and how he's going to find systems that work for him, that he can take from one tournament to the other, and work in tandem with someone to figure that piece out, because it's going to be a lot of moving pieces, but to figure out, okay, this is what predominantly works for me. This intensity brings out the best in me. So I think he hovers between 2 intensities right now. Either he's too quiet or he's too amped up. There's somewhere in the middle that's his sweet spot that will bring out the best of himself.
Yeah, and what you're saying, if he gets that, one of my biggest concerns is his high economy. I think once he gets that, his economy is going to just come down a little bit, and
then it becomes focused. It becomes his cricket becomes focused. His cricket becomes intentional. He's then focusing on, okay, where can I get my wickets? Like, he figures out his systems that work for him, and then his systems will change or will iterate based on the wickets he's playing on, based on the conditions he's playing on. Then his systems will shift a little bit, 5%, 10%. There'll be a little bit of a shift, but those systems he needs to figure out. He needs to work with someone to figure those systems out.
I suppose because he's in, KG has a management portal, and because he's one of the players, let's hope that KG can just help with mentorship, because he figured out his game early on when he was still young. And the world, everyone in this world has seen Ruben Hermann.
Oh my God.
Everyone has seen Ruben, but the more talented Hermann is Jordan.
I think Ruben's equally talented. I just think that when I saw him this year, I felt like there is a there is this over eagerness to perform
Yes, yes.
and not the trust in himself to say, okay, I'm going to score runs. It's going to happen. I just have to play to the situation. I need to focus on, again, my process. What is it? Like, I think that over keenness was there. And I think that's led to him not kind of, him perhaps over trying stuff. But Jordan, man, oh my God, that kid has been an absolute revelation. I genuinely think he had an off day yesterday on the field. Um, I genuinely think that he is one of the best fielders, if not the best fielder in South Africa at the moment.
Look, one of the things I love about Jordan is from the time I saw him, the thing you were talking about with Kwena of growth and development. The first time I watched Jordan was in a domestic match, and then someone tipped me off and told me, look, this kid, because he left school before I started doing school cricket. And they told me, this kid is bad news. You need to focus on him. So I started my whole thing where I go back, I get in touch with him, the parents and the coaches and everybody else. His game was a little, you could see he was talented, but there were limitations to his game. But the thing you mentioned that there has to be progression, we have to see more in your arsenal. With each year, he was a very solid red ball player. He hit fours, nice fours, but very few sixes. But now you look at him a year or two later, 3 years later, his game is better rounded. He's there more. He is there.
Yeah. In yesterday's game, he's developed the six hitting ability of he sure has, but I think like in yesterday's game, it felt like he was second guessing himself too much. In that first eliminator game, when he was batting, I felt like he was locking himself up into certain directions based on perhaps the narrative that was going on within the team to target the shorter areas. It felt like he was getting stuck in those narratives. I think that led to him getting out in his late 40s. But I think through the season, one thing you've seen from him is absolute intensity on the field, which is like wow to watch. And secondly, his batting, the ownership with which he bats, the way he absorbs pressure when he's batting. For me, that has been the revelation in him. And the fact that he's actually an opening batter batting at number 4 in a T20 game or number 3 in a T20 game and still scoring runs. At number 3 is still easy, but number 4 is not easy. Right, you need to up the ante. You need to irrespective of what the score is, you need to bat at a certain nip, and I think he does that really well.
Yeah, like one thing that I think that I always go back to when I'm chatting about Jordan is his domestic side has Tristan Stubbs, Matthew Britsky, and these are already internationals. But you speak to anyone in the side, in the setup, the coaching, the players, and they all say Jordan is the genius in the side. So, when there's that high praise and you're like, if you are not watching him, you're really missing out. He is that kid. And what I also like is from the time I started to know him in this game, you keep track of things like his work ethic off the field. And he's moved away, which I like. He's moved away from quantity to more quality based, because these youngsters at 23, 22, most of them, it's the number of balls they are hitting.
Yeah.
How many balls am I hitting? Am I hitting a target or whatever? But you have to go from that to more structured and more, how can I used to have this term on the tip of my tongue. Now I can't find it.
It's fine. Take your time.
Like very precise practice.
Yeah.
Where you are happy to make the mistakes because you go back. You are not trying to finish the practice. You're just trying to perfect the
So you're basically trying to figure out what your process is, and then you're trying to just develop that and kind of incubate it in practice rather than just blindly practicing without a purpose. Basically.
Yes, very targeted. Yes, targeted practice. And that's what I love about him, that You look at him, you see the process, you see that it's now process driven. It's not to fulfill a quota or whatever. And I have to say, like his father, I, I'm still hurt that he has not yet gotten the attention of the national selectors because I think he has the ability to add value.
Yeah,
He's that
100%.
guy.
Like, I would say IPL teams should be looking out for him. Like, I think if you want a solid middle order bat who will win you matches and feel like a gun, Jordan Hermann is the guy.
Yeah, precisely. But Luandre, he has had a mixed season.
But I'll tell you, second season generally is the toughest season for any young batter, right? The first season, you're a novelty, you're an unknown commodity. So whatever you do, even the analysts don't have a clue, right?
Yes.
But in the second season, the analysts know exactly where you struggle, exactly where you're quiet, and that is where people start targeting you. Now, what does that mean for a player? It means for a player, even a youngster, to go back to the drawing board after a successful season and observe his batting and see videos of his batting, film of his batting, and see where he's been quiet. And why has he been quiet in those particular areas? Why has he gotten out in those particular areas? And work on those
Yes.
and figure out responses and answers to that, because the next season, that's where the ball's going to come.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be bowled. So you should have an answer to that ball. And then once you score to that ball, then they'll go back to thinking, okay, where do we bowl to this guy? Because we don't know where the fuck he's hitting the ball. So I think he'll learn. He's still young. He's also just 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's young. So I think that he will learn as well. I think he's also someone who likes to win matches. He likes to take
Yes,
ownership.
yes,
So you can see him digging in and wanting to score runs for his team. I think if he plays at a better venue than Pal, I think he will score way more runs. Unfortunately, Pal, for how beautiful that ground is, it is too hot. It is too hot for it to be a good batting track. It'll always be a slow batting track.
That's the other thing with Jordan. His strike rate. I had to put an asterisk when I sent you the thing. That St. George's is not the quickest.
It's slow as well, yeah.
Yeah, so
But he plays the situation. So he paces his innings, right? So there are times you're looking at his total average, right? There are times he doesn't need to take risk. He's mature enough not to take a risk. He's mature enough to see things through. He doesn't care about what the strike rate looks like. The observant will notice that there is a reason when he ebbs and flows in his strike rate. Like yesterday, he scored 48, I think, of 33, 34 deliveries. That's 140, 150, 145 strike rate, which is very decent, right?
Yeah.
130, I don't know, whatever it is. So it's on 120. So he was trying to bat at a better nip. So for me, I think he's got the maturity to move between percentages of strike rate, and I think he'll only get better as time goes by.
And Luandre, what I like about him is there are these things that you grow up with. And a lot of them are inculcated into you at school.
Yeah.
And his first school was St. Stithians. And while he was there, he was one of two excellent batters. So the pressure was on him or Richard Seletswane to carry the team. So he had that burden on his shoulders. And well, St. Stithians is a great school, great facilities, great culture, cricketing culture and everything else. That's where Rabada came from. And so, but then they didn't have a strong batting lineup. It was okay.
Who's the
but not
second
strong.
kid? Robert from St. Stithians?
There's Rabada, there's Wickleton.
No, from
Richard Seletswane.
Richard Seletswane.
Yeah, Seletswane.
Seletswane.
Yes.
Where is he now?
He's with the Lions. He's had one thing about Richard. The thing you were talking about understanding yourself as a batter. He was given quite a decent run because the guys at the Lions, they see the potential. They see what he does on the training field. They see what he does in the nets, and so they gave him a decent run. But it was always the same thing with him. When I'm watching his matches, he gets a start, gets to his 20s, 30s. He was the version of Eddie Markram South Africa hater.
Is it?
He gets a start. He's looking good. He's looking nice. But unlike Markram, he will get fancy. You know, he tries to lap, he tries to ramp, he tries to do this and that. And then when you look at his average now, it's probably in the teens or 20s because you get to 30, you are not converting.
Yeah.
So he needs someone who sits him down and says, young man, you maintain this average, you're going to be out of a job in 2 years
Yeah.
because you cannot be that guy who adds 30 runs, 35, 40 runs to the total.
Yeah.
Because he's technically sound. And the good thing is, while he was opening school cricket, you know how it is. You open if you are the best. At the Lions, they put him in the middle order because they're trying to shield him from the hard deliveries and the top bowlers. So he navigates that and he gets out. What Pretorius has done differently is he has adapted.
Yeah.
He's taken several steps forward and left his peer behind. And you can see it. I love watching Pretorius. He won the Titans a 4-day series. It's not easy
Yeah. Sure.
to be that guy who
Yeah.
stays in, bets long. If you need to block, you're going to block the hell out of the ball.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
No problem.
So he had to block the hell out of the ball. Guys tried to rile him up. This is also what I love about him. You know, they try to aggravate him, he will get into the fight, but as you said, he knows his levels.
Yeah. So important.
Yeah.
It seems like he does. He understands what intensity to bat at.
He understands that a lot. And he's also learned the craft of getting into the bowler's head. So he will throw words here and there. He will try to get into your head, but then when it's his time, he goes through his process, he centers himself, and he gets on with the job. That's the biggest thing I love about him.
Yeah, I think we would love to see a lot more, perhaps, I think, consistency from him, maybe. Because exciting talent and tremendous potential. To find solutions for him and understand how to score runs and on different types of tracks. I think now that he's also playing in the IPL with the Royals, I think he perhaps will get opportunities there. It's a great opportunity for him to learn a lot more about his own batting, and I think he's one for the future for sure.
I wanted to ask you, because we didn't have a lot of content coming from 90s. Things were bad. We didn't have connectivity. But you had the opportunity to watch Sachin as he transformed, because when I look at Luandre did not start as young as Sachin, but he's in that sort of region, teenager, and immediately gets to the national team. There's those transitions.
Has he played international cricket yet?
Yes.
He has?
Yes, he has. He has a few ODIs.
He's played ODIs. Okay.
And test under his belt.
Oh, lovely. Okay, huh?
So
I wasn't aware.
There's that when I look at him, because at times I get worried that maybe it was a bit quick. But then also, you're like, if he's good enough, then he's old enough.
Yeah, man. I think if talent is good enough, you need to measure their potential and say, okay, we think that if this talent is nurtured over a period of 3 or 4 years, then he will play for the country anyway in 3 or 4 years. So you might as well blood them young and develop them there. So then by the time that 4 years have gone by, he's almost a semi-finished product who's figured out how to score runs at the international level, rather than saying, okay, I'll prepare him in first-class cricket and then bring him on.
Oh, yes.
Then he has to figure out international cricket again. But if he's figured out himself within the international cricket format for a period of 3 or 4 years, then he's a semi-finished product who will continue to finish and round himself off as he goes on in international cricket whilst playing it.
Yeah, because this is a very South African thing where they say kids must play domestic cricket first, learn to score runs there. But the one thing I've noticed is the quality of the bowling does not measure. It's a huge gulf. There's a huge gulf.
But that's the case in any first class cricket. CS, I think anywhere in the world, first class cricket, the gulf between first class and international cricket is quite the gulf, and that's going to be a part and parcel of it. Which is why sometimes you need to recognize talent. So I think the fact that Dewald played at a young age, and now Pretorius played at a young age, so you know that these guys are being blood in because they have the potential already to play at this level. So, like, why not invest in talent like this to nurture them so that in about 3 4 years' time, then they're almost semi finished products, then that can produce results for the country for a long period of time. So, I kind of agree with that thinking. I like that thinking. Um, there are talents that need to do time in first class cricket and then
Yes.
earn their spot in international cricket, but there are some talents who need to be just blood in because they're there.
Do you think Ngobani Mokwena is one of those talents that should?
He's been one of the most exciting for me. Two that have been super exciting for me in this year's Betway SA20 has been Mokwena and Jordan Hermann. Both of them. Like Mokwena has been so good. You could see nervy kid, 18 years old, nervy. But I think they're using him wrong.
Oh.
I don't think he should bowl 2 overs in the power play. I think he bowls one in the power play, the third over, second or third over, get him out of the way. One after the 10th over when you need a wicket because he's so much better with the semi-new and the old ball, and two in the death because he's really good at death. I think he is a Rabada quality player waiting to happen. And it feels like if I, if I'm comparing apples to oranges, I feel like he's got a lot more of a calmer head on his shoulders than, say, Quena, for example. That's what I feel like. What do you think? As in, I'm
Well,
just going by what I'm observing.
I will use something that I saw. Don't quote me on this.
Quote him on this.
Someone told me I haven't had enough time to verify. His manager has been ducking my text, but his brother, his alleged brother, is a professional soccer player. He was at the Africa Cup of Nations just
Oh,
now.
lovely. Okay.
So you get the sense that because it's a sporting family, there is a lot of sporting knowledge and information that
Sure.
moves around in that household. And then also, I think the other thing, as we said before, the schools, the school culture where you come from also plays a huge role in your development as a player. And
Sure.
he's a Glenwood youngster from KZN, which is what surprises me. We used to fast bowlers coming from the high veld because they are bouncy tracks and everything.
Yeah.
But it comes from the coast in Durban, and you're like, oh, it's very interesting for him
Yeah.
to be this quick, and also the good use of variations.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got great variation, and I think they'll only get better. I think if he works with the likes of a Rabada, I think he actually, or like a Lungi or a Rabada, I think that he develops a lot more as a bowler in time to come. I really hope he continues in the same vein, and I think he's got a really bright future.
I would like him to work more with Lungi. Lungi has one hell of an armory, one that I admire a lot. Like,
Lungi is really good, underrated, flies under the radar, but mighty effective, I think.
especially with the roles that you would like to see Mokwena in. Is,
Yeah.
that one over in the power play, and then
Yeah.
one, in the middle overs,
Yeah.
and then at the death.
Two in the death. And I think T20 cricket, that's how he should bowl. But yeah, any other talent that is like waiting to happen that should be playing in the SA20 but isn't at the moment?
There's this young man called Matthew Boast.
Matthew Boast, okay? I've heard of this name.
Not sure if you've heard of him.
I've heard of this name, yes.
Yeah, he was picked in the 2023 season as a rookie. And you know how it is. They paid good money for him, a few millions, or a couple, not a few. But he then had a poor first-class season.
Okay.
And he did not shoot out the lights in the SA20. So, things just went down for him. And I think people were like, let's not pick him up this time around. And what he then goes on to do is he then moves from the Titans, goes to the Warriors. Look, if anyone knows South African cricket, you know everyone wants to play for the Titans because that's where all the opportunities are. It's one of the most financially stable, and there's also a lot of internationals to learn from. But the work they're doing with the Warriors, that's where Jordan Hermann is. They're slowly building this young thing. So he went there, and what does he do? Takes a whole bunch of wickets in first class.
Amazing. Okay. He's a fast bowler.
He's fast medium.
Okay.
Not proper fast, but he's now gotten himself to that point where I think he understands this game more. And I think it comes with working with journeymen. That's the other thing. You know, you have all these journeymen who've been on the scene for a long time. They are helping you with ideas and everything. So he's zoned in into his game and probably mental work because they're also coached by Robbie Peterson,
Yeah.
my Cape Town guy. He's very good on the mental side with the players. So I think the work they've been doing there has really calmed him down more. He's
Beautiful.
now more focused on bowling. I think he's dropped the whole dream of being an all-rounder. Yes.
Just focusing on bowling now.
Sometimes you have to go with your strong point.
No, I don't agree. But yeah, let's go with what you're saying for now.
Yeah, but he's good. I like him. I like him a lot.
Is Gideon Peters young?
He's 26.
He's good.
I love Gideon.
He's good. He is so good.
I love Gideon.
As we were talking about players under 25, but Gideon deserves a mention. I think he's been really good.
Yeah,
And coming back from a stress fracture is not easy. He's come back really strong, performing really well. In fact, the upswing for Pretoria happened since he came into the squad. And then I think his second game that he played this season, he came into his own, and then he got those 3 wickets. I think it was in Durban against DSG. And I think the minute he got that, tail was up, and every game gone bang, 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 bang. He's gone going those short balls across seam very, very well.
No, I like Gideon. And one thing that a lot of people might not appreciate is if you're a fast bowler and you're coming from injury, you don't quite trust your action. You don't trust your
You
bowling
don't trust
that much.
like it takes a while because you're still you're operating from first nature, you're operating from like your conscious mind, not operating from subconscious, because full and complete trust in the body is not there yet. And that comes along after perhaps 6, 9 to 12 months post injury, and once you start starting to play post injury.
Yeah, and to see him doing that, I had a chat with him just before SA20, and I was saying, "Are you going to be bowling?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was so excited, and that's one of the things I love about him. He has this deep excitement to just go out there and do things. You know, he wants to
Nice.
hit batters on the head with.
One of those, eh? One of those.
I asked him what's your favorite dismissal. I expected like all other pacers to say,
Bold.
"I want to castle the wickets." No. He wants to hit the guy on the head, and then the guy falls onto his stumps.
Oh boy, that's one of those. But we all love Gideon Peters, and we love all of these cricketers who are up and coming from South Africa. They are hugely talented, and I truly hope that the likes of Aquena really comes into his own because he's got so much potential, and I think all of South Africa want him to do well. So with Mokoena, so with Dewald is beginning to get in that vein, but Jordan Hermann and Pretorius as well.
Yeah,
So I think
Pretorius,
wishing all of them the very best luck. CS, thank you so much for doing this with us. For your first of so many, we're going to do. You're going to help us do a deep dive into a lot of South African cricket and probably cricket all over Africa, eh?
Yeah, definitely. The only place I'm still trying to break through now is Namibia.
Namibia.
Don't know anyone there, but because I'm from Zimbabwe, so
Yeah.
that helps with that.
Getting around.
Part, but yeah, particularly South African cricketers. Like, we didn't even mention the other De Villiers.
Yeah, Matthew.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's 24.
Yes, 24.
Oh, sure, we missed Matthew de Villiers. But yeah, so special mention to Matthew de Villiers, who's had an incredible domestic season, has batted really well in the middle order, scored a whole boatload of runs, has come in, has opened the batting for JSK and then batted in the middle order now, almost playing a finisher's role. So he's had a slightly middling season so far for JSK, but huge potential. And I think there's a lot more runs from where that's come from him. So watch out for him as well. Very exciting player.
Yeah, very, very exciting. And as you said, second season, sophomore blues and whatever.
Why not sophomore blues? I think you're a lot more of a known entity, so there is going to be difficulty to succeed. So that is the litmus test. The second season's the litmus test, not the first.
Yeah.
The first season's actually easy pickings, to be honest.
Because you just
blow
everyone away.
Yeah, and nobody knows you. You're a really truly an unknown commodity. So you're going to take you have the cleanest opportunity to take the world by storm. And then the second year is where you need to really put your head down and
start working.
All
right.
Awesome. Thanks. Yes.
Thank you, Robbie.
That's it on this episode. We will see you guys on the next one.
And don't forget, on Commbox, the game lives on.
Always.
Cricket has never finished at the close of play. It lives in the arguments, the memories, the comment sections. Cricket makes you talk. Commbox is entering that chat.